Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas with Kelly Williams, recently signed with Warner Brothers. So,
Crazy.
Does this mean that you continue your independent label, or
Yes.
you do both?
Yeah, see, that's the big thing about the industry. You have to know the industry in order how to maneuver. And I've just been a student of the game for a very long time, not just the music, but the business side, because I knew I didn't want to be an artist forever. So
What's the ultimate goal then?
the ultimate goal is to be the #1 recording label in the world.
Of course, go for that.
That's my goal.
And you would be producer? What would be?
Yes, producer. No, but the goal is to be the most sought after producer in the world. For the gospel industry and inspirational industry.
I love that. We'll just
And
believe in that with
yeah,
you.
that's why I keep saying it. And to be the most prosperous and biggest label in our era. At this time, that's my goal, and to just infuse this world with just good music, things that's uplifting people and not degrading or anything of that sort. So if anyone takes us uplifting them by talking about things that are negative in the world as degrading, then if we touch a nerve that way, then that's fine. But we're not going to produce music that's intentionally making you feel bad, but intentionally giving you an avenue to wake up and be happy about life. And you're going to face challenges every single day, but that whole deal came apart from a song that we released over the summer called Never Forsaken, and it just started traveling. It just started traveling. So one of our artists, LJ, from Canton, Ohio, McKinley student, it just start moving, and then that just sparked a lot of different things in a lot of different directions. And it's like when you do something, you don't know what's going to happen. You just put it out there in faith, and you say what you want to happen, and and it happens. You're like, oh my God,
it happened.
It just happened. So, but working with them entities are awesome. I've always wanted to work with Ty Scott for a very long time, even when I was, just starting off in the game, because I knew the power they had behind them and the artists that they worked with. Warner is something different because Sony, like Michael Jackson and Prince and those guys are, attached to that. And I'm like, so I tell guys now, I'm like, why distribute on a digital platform where you're trying to knock on somebody's door for them to see you? We're on the platform now where they're looking directly at you. They're releasing you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're starting off independent, but I don't think people understand that's how the game goes. So you ask me, how can I have my label with two different companies at the same time? Well, it's only because me as the company, I am just like the house, and my artists are like the furniture in the house. So I can sign non-exclusive deals for Hollywood, but the artist himself would be under that particular contract.
Got it.
So I could have LJ do a single on Sony and still have him do a whole separate project on Ty Scott because he's still with the entity of non-exclusivity.
That is such a heady experience for any high school kid.
I know.
How is LJ handling this?
I really don't know. He's excited, but I think it's overwhelming for him.
Yes.
And, so, mentally, like I said, you ask for these things to happen and then they actually happen. And then, so I think the thing that would be the most difficult for him and for all of us is making that transition. Like I have to be a little more, heavier on the music selections. I have to be a little more in control of these things, and I have to like hold my ground on a lot of areas that I would in the past maybe let slide by, because. But when you're working in this entity at these levels with these kind of companies,
It's got to be right.
It has to be right, and so. As an artist, you don't see that. You don't think of that. You're only thinking, I make this hit. This is a hot record. It might be a hot record, but that record might not be what we need right now for this. We need something else. And that's the part where artists feel like, they get shelved and they only get shelved because they can't produce what that company needs. So they find the next artist, and that's why you will see people like, well, they ain't released my album in 5 years. Well, it's outdated at this point. And when they ask you for something specific, you couldn't deliver it to them. So as a company, and to, fulfill their contracts and whatever, they have to find that thing, and that thing might last a year or two, but they found it and they worked it. And then we may come back to you. But if you're outdated and you're still not working, keeping yourself relevant, then you're going to get bypassed again.
I see you having to do both because you've got the business sense of it, but then you also have the heart for kids to help nurture them and move them along and keep them relevant.
Right.
Do you have to walk a tightrope with those two things?
No, because I don't have anything to hide, and I'm not manipulating anything.
Right.
And I'm just me as a person, So I'm the same at all times. So no, there's.
So you are doing both. You're just doing
I'm doing both. You know, I'm just a boss of my own self. You know.
Yeah.
And I just think it's important, man, to educate at the same time as give opportunity to.
Let's talk more deeply about that project that was nominated.
Yes.
Talk about the project itself.
The project is called Hey Young World, and it's available on all streaming outlets right now. And it is called Hey Young World by the Children Speak. 2-time Stellar Award nominated group for Youth Project of the Year. And the project is awesome. There's 11 records on the project. It goes from, pop to remixes of old time songs like, Go Tell It on the Mountain, but we remix it to hip hop. Jesus Loves Me. A lot of original songs as well. And the great thing about this is that these kids wrote these songs themselves. The only thing I had to do, awesome. This is no lie, I would just, give them the beat. This is the record we're going to use. This is the kind of song we want to do, but how do we want to put it together? And then I let them tell me what they're comfortable with. And I let them tell me what they want to talk about. Then I let them tell me how they want to write and how it should go. And then I take all that in consideration. I come back and say, this is what we're going to do. And of course, some of their ideas be off the wall. But I literally try to take them all and consolidate them into the main idea. And they fall in line and like, yeah, because all of their ideas are input into it somewhere. And that's the coolest thing about it. But the great thing about it is that, they have songs that they wrote themselves. And people, I think they think kids don't have these abilities, but I was doing it at their age.
Yeah,
right? So a lot of us probably were doing things at their age that we just forgot about, because we don't do it anymore. Like drawing or coloring on the sidewalk.
Sometimes you do more of that when you're a kid. You haven't learned yet that you can't.
Exactly.
So you can't.
But as an adult, you're taught you can't because you got to be an adult now.
Right.
You can't hopscotch in front of your house and draw lines unless you're with your kids. Unless you're with your kids playing. Then you can. But the kids are just awesome. So that's
where did you find these kids?
They found me.
Wow.
That's what I feel like.
Wow.
Because I don't know where to look. I was working, as and when I first came to Canton with Heartbeats to the City, and so we had the after school academy in McKinley and Timken, and that's where we got our first set of group of kids at. Then they kind of graduated out of it. Then we went to the summer, had the other group of kids, and then we had a few that just stuck with us the whole time, like LJ and Brandon, and we just, and Unique, and we just continued that way. And then I got connected with Tikva Hands of Hope, and from that's when everything was just settled. At that point, it just kind of settled. I believe it just settled itself down, and we just started creating and building from that point.
Yeah.
And so, we're in our second year together, and we're going to implement those new things in the summer, and they're going to open up they're working on opening a high school portion too. So I think that would be just really cool, really awesome, man.
You've given us kind of a hint of what's coming up this summer, but tell me about upcoming projects. What's
upcoming
on your mind
projects?
Now?
Well, the Children Speak is going to be in the studio working on a new project this summer. We're going to come harder and stronger this time. And I think we're going to incorporate some people that we haven't worked with in the past, to try to give it a little more spruce.
What does that mean?
A little more spruce, little more creativity outside of what we're doing. Maybe just bringing in, I thought about meeting a friend of mine named Alex Simon, to give a different feel with the drums, just something different, that they've never experienced before, and I believe the more to get the community involved, the more they're helping out. Working on a project for LJ right now. So we'll be doing two. We'll be doing one we're working on it right now because we got a week to finish that project. So,
is he still in high school? Has he graduated?
Yes, this is
yet?
last year. Yes,
last
this
year.
is last year.
Senior year of high school, and he's doing this major project.
And he's doing this major project, and I just wish I had that out, man. But I do have the opportunity now. But at his age, and so he was in the studio last night. It's about 11 o'clock, and we was going on some ideas. So we're back in the studio today around 7:30. Just to start. We have about 2 songs in, and I only need like 6 for this EP, and we're just going to give them some powerhouse stuff, and I'm bringing in maybe like 5 other artists to rally in and be a part of the project with them.
What's the future of Christian hip-hop? What kind of sounds are, I don't think of any of it as old. I think of all of it as pretty now. But what's the future look like? Because you've got a good ear that you can tell when something's kind of, okay, that sound is going out, this is coming in.
In my opinion, I've always felt like Christian hip hop music should be authentic. What I did find was that a lot of Christian hip hop artists was relevant because they were making songs like the secular artists that's out there now. But I thought that was cool in a degree, but then in a degree I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, because how are you separating yourself?
Yeah,
Why
set
do you
the
want,
bar.
why do you want to sound like this guy when all I can do is just go get his album?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, so you're talking positive, but I don't want to hear that positive stuff. I want to hear that. So, and then if I'm in the streets, I'm like, man, you just trying to sound like that dude. You know, that's just my street side. But my business side is, I would never do that.
Right.
So the artists that we work with are all authentic. We have an artist named Kimberly Manda who has it's a pop R&B hip hop record. It's called Everything's Gonna Be Alright. Oh my God, this song is maybe I can send it to you. You can play it in the background of this interview or something.
Where can we hear it? Where can we get it?
It's unreleased, but that one is
Okay.
that one is going to release through Sony as well.
Awesome.
And we'll be talking about that tonight, actually, at our meeting. So I think so. LJ is going to be April 11th, so probably for that one, maybe like in June. And then we're doing Apollo next month.
Whoa.
Well, this month, April.
What?
Yes. So we'll stay the 10th. So in 9 days, we'll be leaving for Apollo.
You're going to be performing at the Apollo Theater.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
For when and what are you doing there?
They have their spring auditions, and that's April the 19th. So, but we're performing on the 20th, and so we're going to put LJ and Brandon and Kimberly into the runnings to be competitors on the show. And I don't want to reveal our strategy, but one of them is going to make that show, and be a performer as well. You know what I'm saying?
That is so cool.
That it is, and we want our youth to go too, but we're trying to figure out who we take and everything. But what I'm saying is just giving people from our city opportunities that they wouldn't have if someone didn't come along that had those same opportunities, and now taking you through the same channels. And that's all I'm doing, because they want to be at the Apollo, but they don't know how to get there. But I do.
Right.
I've been on Apollo. I've won on Apollo, so I know how to get there.
Say that again.
I
won
on Apollo.
On Apollo.
How old was I? I was already in Florida, so I was 22 years old.
That is so amazing.
Yeah. And I used to watch the show. I watched the show every Sunday.
I know.
Every weekend, and to win was amazing to me. Doing the Bobby Jones gospel TV shows on BET 4 times were amazing to me. My mom and I used to watch them, and I would say, I'm gonna be on there one day, and she was like, yes, you are. And she finally saw one, a few months before she passed away.
Oh, she got to see that.
She got to see it, but I wish she was here to see what's happening now.
Right.
She told me I would make this.
I think she kind of is, Kelly. Don't you think so?
But it was something about this year going to the Stellars that I wish that when I walked into that arena, I wished that she was right there beside me. It was just something I was feeling like all that whole 3 days. Like, I wish.
God's hand is so on you and on your life and on this career and what you're doing and on your music. Is there a way that we can just be undergirding you with prayer as you go forward with this? Because you are rocking the boat.
That's it right there. Just pray for me, even if I don't know you are. I pray for myself. I ask people to pray for me all the time. I don't think a lot of people understand the work that goes into it, the mentality that you have to keep. You have to keep a positive mindset at all times. You got to keep your faith high. You got to keep, relying on God and asking him, what to do next. And sometimes you get it wrong, but a lot of times I get it right too, and when I get it wrong, I'm like, I got it wrong and I'm trying to fix it. And sometimes I damage it more and I'm like, okay, I just quit. And, then, God just, it's amazing. I really take to heart when he says, speak things into existence that are not as if they were already so. And faith is dead without works. You can't please God without faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Like, I really, really believe those words, and I allow the things to shape my life. So I speak everything and I just wait. But I don't wait. I actually, if I say, all right, God, I want to make $1 million so I could do this project, I'm going to start in the motion of whatever I need to do, and he's going to continue giving me, sending provisions in 3-4 years or maybe a week. It's there. And I'm like, I knew it was going to happen. I just never stopped. I just believe everything. I believe everything. Literally, this interview, when I used to ride by here and be like, they're going to interview me one day. They're going to interview me one day. And this is my 4th time. So people have to understand, I speak it, believe it, and it happens if you stay on course to make it. To do it.
Well, we are going to catch up with you again because it's always exciting. Kelly Williams, thank you so much for all you bring to our community.
Man, Miss Susie, I thank you for having me. Thank you.